What's up, weirdos? And welcome to Weirdwide, the show bringing you all the weird, all the time. If you are returning once again to the Weirdoverse, welcome back. You have good taste, I gotta say. If this is your first time here, thanks for joining our little cult. Good times are sure to follow. If it is your first time, this is actually not a terrible episode to start up on. Had a couple, some of you may have noticed that I haven't been around as much lately. Had to miss a week. I mean, actually, at this point, maybe even a little bit more than a week. So I apologize for that. I've even gone dark on my socials a little bit. Got some stuff going on. Nothing bad. Everybody, automatically assumes it's something bad, but I assure you, it's nothing bad. But just got a lot of stuff going on. I was supposed to have a guest on here with me, but looks like I'm doing this one solo, so that's okay. Honestly, it's probably better that way. So today I'm coming at you with a little bit of a slightly altered format. Not going to be doing the same, not going to be doing as many of the deep dives as I usually do. We're going to be doing a little bit more of the kind of weird news stuff. Kind of just like weird stuff going on. There's going to be some segments and stuff like that. Might be a little bit less character rich, but the show is evolving. It's just a direction I feel like I feel like taking it in. It also just good for me for some of my own mental energy to keep with that. So hope everybody enjoys the new direction that I'm going to be taking the show in. Like I said, I'm going to still be doing the deep dives, but I'm going to be doing those a little bit more sporadically. That way I can actually like kind of focus a little bit more on the research that goes into all that and putting all that together for you guys so that I get all the information correctly. I don't want to release shitty information. That's another thing right there. So if you want to let me know your thoughts on the show's direction, you can email the show at weirdwidepodcast@gmail.com. Don't forget to also go onto the official home of Weirdwide on the interwebs, www.weirdwide.com. From there, you can listen to every episode that's been released. You can also sign up for the newsletter and get episodes sent directly to you. Now, weird in the news. Holy shit. Like, it has gotten so weird lately. It's one of those things where it's like I went dark and then everything fucking weird started to happen. Like, I didn't even get a chance to cover the aliens in the backyard story in Las Vegas while it was still hot. That I didn't even get a chance to cover that. Now it no longer is. It was. That story is already passed. Basically, a couple of aliens fucking landed in some dude's backyard. The police got involved and everything. It was crazy. But again, I missed that story, so it is what it is. But like I said, the world is kind of swimming with crazy nonsense right now. So let's get right into it. I feel like the story that's dominated the news in the past week or so has obviously been the Oceangate sub situation with the fucking billionaires. I mean, if you don't know what I'm referring to, I feel like most of you do. I feel like, honestly, unless you've been living under a rock or under the sea lately, the biggest story of the year, I would say, it would be the submersible, the Titan, that went to these fucking rich billionaires went to check out the site of the Titanic. They wanted to go and they wanted to take a little sub down. They wanted to check it out. Well, shit went wrong. And they did not come back. There was this whole everybody was kind of holding their collective breaths. Basically, everybody was holding their collective breaths while it was all unfolding. They've only got 96 hours of air left. They've only got 48 hours of air left. And the memes were just, beautiful. Now, a lot of people took to the internet and they had a little bit of an issue with all this. You know all this. Most of you know all this. I'm not saying I'm not giving you any information about the sub that you don't know. Everybody has been talking about it. It's been done to death. It's crazy. As dead as the billionaires that are now at the bottom of the ocean. But one of the funny things about it is the internet, obviously, as it does, has its opinions, and it had its opinions. A lot of people were upset by all the meme situations that were happening. A lot of people were upset with how unfortunately people were reacting to the idea of multiple billionaires stuck in a tube and dying slowly. Now, I'm not advocating for I'm not advocating for killing people. I'm not advocating for the death of human life. It is what it is. But the reasoning behind the situation is what really I found the most interesting. I mean, you've got the problem is first of all, this whole thing was organized by the CEO of Oceangate, a guy named Stockton Rush. Which, have you ever heard of a more rich guy name in your entire life? Stockton Rush. Jesus. like first of all, part of it's your fault getting on a fucking sub with a guy named Stockton Rush. That's your first issue there. But a lot of the issue that really the people, one of the reasons that a lot of people found the whole thing to be as kind of comical as a lot of us did was the fact that it was so obvious, like to everybody involved, that this was not a good idea. So the Titan, first of all, like very ballsy name, like very ballsy name for a submersible to take down to the Titanic. Like it's kind of ridiculous. You're tempting the fates at that point. But the reason all this went as south as it did was because Stockton Rush blatantly ignored a lot of the warning signs that a lot of people were pointing out about the safety measures. There was, apparently there was no way to actually get out from the inside. That was one of the biggest problems right there. Is there was about 17 bolts from the outside that it just like, it's legitimately one of those things where like when they were looking for them, even if they had gotten to the surface, which they didn't, they would have, if they didn't find them on the surface of the water, it would have been a situation where they still would have been fucked because there was absolutely no like safety mechanism to like bail. So that's your first issue. But Stockton Rush, he actually fired a guy that pointed out a lot of the issues that he was seeing, a guy that was like an engineer. And Stockton kind of had this whole idea of like, he didn't want old white dudes in the military, like military white dudes, like in like representing the company. He wanted a younger, sleeker, sexier Oceangate. Which, okay, from a marketing perspective, I get that. Like, what's going to sell more as far as marketing, like as far as image, sure. But I personally, if I'm going down in some kind of submarine situation, I don't want a 25-year-old. I want some dude who is, I want a salty motherfucker. I want like a 60-year-old dude who has just like seen it all. He's been there. He's done that. He knows his shit. I don't need somebody, honestly, it's like, even at a point now where like, I'm all about Gen Z. I've talked about it on this show. I've talked about it on other shows that I've guested on. I'm all about Gen Z. Gen Z is going to save the fucking world and I fucking love it. But at the moment, I don't trust like 25 is younger than me. I don't trust a 25-year-old to know how to operate a submersible. And I think that's fair. But Stockton, being the boss, he fucking made that happen. So you got inexperienced people. So you've got safety measures that are being ignored. OSHA exists for a reason. I know it's a pain in the ass. I've dealt with it. It sucks. Safety exists for a reason. Tis what it is. You've got that going on. You've got inexperienced crew. From my understanding, they didn't have like a pinger or something to basically like that they could track where they were. So the Titanic wreck site is a lot bigger than people realize. It's a massive site, so it's not so like basically the idea was that everybody like the thought that everybody had was it was like kind of stuck down there somewhere and it was like just couldn't move. Well, it's not going to be that easy to find that because you've got all this other wreckage, all this other like sea life starting to take it back. It didn't just like it shattered and fucking went everywhere. Wreckage is all fucked up down there. Another issue that a lot of people brought up, and I don't know. I've never been on a fucking submersible. I don't know if this is standard issue procedure or not, but to me it seems silly. As they had a Logitech gaming controller, which, if you're playing Call of Duty or something like that, sure. You're gonna want Logitech is probably good. I'm pretty sure my fucking headphones are Logitech. I don't know. They might be. I don't know. But I don't want a Logitech controller controlling the submarine that I'm in. Now, apparently, there was also a series of people who were offered spots on it, but actually said no. There was like one guy, apparently some kid, who was like kind of a fanatic about this kind of stuff. He's like really into it and like kind of knows his shit for his age. He was like 15. He's like, I don't fucking think so. I'm not fucking getting on that. The YouTube guy, Mr. Beast, I know the name. I don't know what the fuck he's about. He was apparently offered a spot on it. The mom of the 19-year-old kid was offered a spot, but the kid really wanted to go. I don't remember the kid's name. I honestly don't. I don't know his name. But he had this whole thing where he wanted to solve a Rubik's Cube at the bottom of the ocean, which I hope he did. I hope he got to, that's cool. That's a fun dream. But it's just like, again, you're just trusting you're trusting your life. And this was $250,000 per ticket. This was an absolute ridiculous money-making situation. So you got money involved, like you got, I don't know. It's just like that's another thing that just made it hard for people to give a shit about billionaires at the bottom of the sea. There's also, you're starting to hear about orca attacks. Like the orcas are literally attacking ships. So there's like this whole idea of like, did the orcas do something down there? We still don't know. It's fucking insane. Now, because the orcas are like pissed off, like they don't fucking forget. They're starting to take back the ocean. The ocean, nature is turning against us. I don't know if anybody fucking realizes that, but that's what's happening. And just this idea of just going down and tempting fate. Now, one of my favorite parts of the story, though, and I think this is absolutely hysterical, is the one guy's stepson. Just like could not have been, I think it was Hamish's stepson. I don't remember his fucking kid's name either. Something Zaz, which isn't that a Batman villain? Something Zaz. But anyway, this motherfucker in the middle of this whole situation apparently had Blink 182 tickets and was just like, I understand that stepdaddy is in Davy Jones' locker right now, but I am not, and I really want to go see Blink 182. So like he tried to exploit the whole situation. He basically, he tried to like finagle like meeting fucking Blink 182. Like there was a OnlyFans model that he messaged, basically talking about like wanting her to sit on his face, and it's like we all grieve, we all grieve differently, sure, but it's like he was just making it like like he was like weirdly speaking for the rest of us of like that sucks anyway, legitimately. Like this is what that's what was going on. So that was an interesting situation. Apparently everybody thought the whole situation was they were going to run out of air, but apparently there was a situation where the submersible actually imploded. They probably all died pretty quick. But unfortunately, there's still questions about it. There's like some audio recordings that apparently have come out, and I haven't had a chance to listen to them yet, but there's people asking questions, are we ever going to find these bodies? Are we ever going to find their bodies? And like honestly, like the answer is probably no. Like if it imploded, I'm assuming there was possibility that a lot of them actually exploded while that happened, or the pressure, I don't know. We're not going to find them, so they are absolutely gone. And again, not to advocate for suffering in human life being extinguished. That sucks, but like it is hard for me to feel sorry for them. Billionaires out here doing billionaire shit, and hubris got the best of them. Well, speaking of billionaires, so that's another thing that happened in the middle of this whole situation. While all this is going on, Elon Musk decides for some reason to challenge Mark Zuckerberg to a cage match, which who the fuck had that on their 2023 bingo card? I did not have that on my bingo card at all. Like, what the fuck is even happening? Like the simulation is going so far off the rails at this point. I can't even fathom. Like, does anybody else just can't stand Elon Musk? Like, honestly, like I cannot stand that guy. Like everything about him just screams fucking desperate loser. Like everything about him just screams like me, find me funny, I'm so edgy, and I'm so blah blah blah. But he's just a fucking moron. Like I don't know, because it's like one of those things. It's like he decided to challenge Zuckerberg because like they're competitors, but it's also like one of those things where it's like, yeah, you bought Twitter, but like I don't know, I don't know. It just seems childish. But then Zuckerberg was literally just like, yeah, bring it, motherfucker. Like, and so then the whole thing takes on this like, are they actually gonna fight? Are they actually going to fight? And like, what does that even look like? Like the fucking UFC guy, the guy that runs the UFC, he's all about it. He's like, yeah, fuck yeah, let's get this shit going. Like, let's get these two assholes in a fucking cage. And we're all just like, sure, okay. Like, what the fuck does that even like? It's also one of those things where it's like, you think like it's almost like the presidential election where it's like, I don't even like either of these guys. Like, I don't care. Like I would be happy to see either of them get their ass handed to them. That'd be fine. But like, it's like I'm not like rooting for one of them. I'm actively rooting against both of them. And I feel like a lot of people feel the same way. Apparently, the Vegas odds makers are saying that Zuck has the upper hand. Zuck being a little bit more agile, a little quicker, apparently also does like I read conflicting stories. I don't know like what the actual martial arts like setup is here, like because I saw a couple things that said that Zuckerberg had like some training. I saw some that said he had a lot of training. I saw some that said he was a fucking white belt. But then, I also you look into Elon Musk and it says he's like studies Brazilian jiu-jitsu, which I don't know, maybe he does. I don't know these people. So like I don't know like what are they bringing? Like I don't know what level of skill they're actually bringing. Is this going to be like a fucking weird slap fight? Like, is it going to be one of those things where they get in there and like they just like don't know what the fuck to do in a fight? Like, I mean, because like honestly, when's the last time either of them were in a fight? Mark Zuckerberg, I assume, got his ass kicked in high school a couple times. Elon Musk was a little fucking rich kid the whole time, so like he kind of had like a little bit of an upper hand. I doubt he ever had to fight. A lot of people know what I mean when I say had to fight. There's a lot of times where it's like you got to stand up for yourself. You got to let people know that like you're not taking this level of shit this far, no farther. Just the way it is. But I don't imagine that somebody like Elon Musk, who basically was raised on apartheid blood money, I don't imagine he had to fight a lot. So I don't know. I kind of feel like maybe the Vegas odds makers are right. Zuck has the upper hand here. If this even happens, because then you've got Elon Musk. It gets even stranger is you got Elon Musk's mother getting involved, like trying to stop the whole thing. Like what the fuck is happening, dude? Like, is anybody else just fucking irritated with reality? Because I'm fucking irritated with reality. So that's a thing. We're waiting to see what's going to happen with that. We are on cage fight watch, apparently. I will update on future episodes as shit develops. As of recording, I don't believe they have a date set. I don't know, though. I will update you on future episodes. Now, on to something a little bit lighter. So I decided, since this is going to be around 4th of July, this is going to be coming out hopefully before 4th of July. I'm like I said, I'm still getting back into the groove of things, and I'm a one-man band. I have to do all this shit myself. So, I think I'll have this out by the 4th of July. If not, it'll be really close. So I thought it'd be fun to look up some 4th of July facts. Like weird 4th of July facts. I wasn't going to try to come on here like a fucking boring ass civics lesson or some shit. Like, I tried to find some weird shit. Now, I did find some weird shit, but I actually found something like a lot weirder than I was even expecting. So I did find some weird facts. 3 presidents have actually died on 4th of July. John Adams, Thomas Jefferson, and James Monroe. My understanding is they all signed the Declaration of Independence, which is pretty sweet. That's pretty wild. Like, I mean, like, how the fuck, like, does that sound Matrixy? Does that sound a little glitchy to you? Because that sounds like, I don't know, or is it just a thing where it's like this collective energy of all these dudes putting into this whole thing of like basically this whole creating a new country? This collective, like, I'm gonna call it magic, spiritual energy, whatever you want to call it. Did that affect them? Because it's like the whole thing was like 4th of July. That's the thing. That's our day. So then it weirdly comes back on Adams and Jefferson and Monroe, and they fucking croak on that same day. Fucking crazy, isn't it? There was also one president who was born on the 4th, and that was Calvin Coolidge. One little side note: I don't actually know much about Calvin Coolidge. I don't know anything about him, so I don't. I got nothing on him. I got nothing. But one thing I did want to just like take a little sidebar here, just a little opportunity to get on a soapbox here, is while I was doing this research is I did find out that Jefferson actually had this idea of rewriting the Constitution every 19 years. Okay. And his reasoning for that is that he had a quote about it is one generation of men has the right to bind another. Excuse me. If one generation of men has the right to bind another, then the lands would belong to the dead and not with the living, which is the reverse of our principle. which is, one of those things where, like, because like what you hear a lot, like, when, and we're not going to get into politics like too hard here, but, like, like when you hear a lot about people talking about, like, what would the founding fathers want? What would the founding fathers would want this. Having never studied them, and even in just like in my very brief moments of looking for weird information here, I found this particular tidbit. So it's like, it's not even, you can speak for the founding fathers all fucking day, but like, you really don't know what the fuck you're actually talking about. Because a lot of people will talk about how, like, they wanted it this way, they wanted it that way, but like, they're literally would, in this quote, prove that Jefferson at least was like, no, 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 no. We don't want the last generation to have their say here. So this needs to be a living document that is updated based on current needs. Like, so yeah, we had this and this going on back when I fucking signed it. But by the time we get to 2023, we're going to have a whole new set of problems. Jefferson knew that. And, that's why I got to say, so if I ever hear anybody talking about what the founding fathers want, I can say at least one of them thinks you're absolutely wrong and probably an asshole. Now, like I said, I found other information. This is just, I was in shock when I found this. This is actually a little bit more interesting than any of the weird facts that I found other than this here. So, hot dogs came up, which I know, it's like, here's a fat guy running a show who's out here fucking, talking about hot dogs, right? Yeah, I get it. That's fair. That's fair. I like hot dogs. I fucking love hot dogs. I'm having one on the 4th. I'm gonna at least try. So they had these weird statistics, like, and this came from one of the sources is just incredible. I got like locked into this source here. So according to the National Hot Dog and Sausage Council, the National Hot Dog and Sausage Council, from Memorial Day to Labor Day, that is considered peak hot dog season. So 4th of July falling right in the middle of that shit. Peak hot dog season. And we apparently consume about 7 billion hot dogs throughout the year, with the most happening between Memorial Day and Labor Day. That equates to about 818 per second on average. July is going to account for about 10% of that. But like, I got obsessed with the National Hot Dog and Sausage Council. So I started looking into it. They got a website. You go to hotdog.org. Now that's hot-dog.org. I'll probably put it in the show notes. Wow. So these people are serious. Like, did you ever see that episode of Rocko's Modern Life where Heifer joined the sausage cult? That's the vibe I get here. Like, where like he wanted pizza one day because he was tired of fucking sausage, and they literally threw him in jail. Like, that's the kind of vibe I get here. Now they've got all this stuff here. Like, they've got so much going on. There's a sausage quiz. What the fuck is a sausage quiz? I don't even know what a sausage quiz is. Test your sausage knowledge. I'm on the site right now. The site is amazing. They've got a culture section with 10 plus sections. You can get 25 hot dog facts for 25 years. I don't know why you would need that. 25 hot dog quotes for 25 years. Major League Baseball hot dog and sausage guide. Hot dog etiquette. Okay, let's check out hot dog etiquette. All right, so there's do's and don'ts. Don't put hot dog toppings between the hot dog and the bun. Always dress the dog, not the bun. See, I do that shit. I don't do that shit. No, I'll put onions on the side. Do serve sesame seed, poppy seed, and plain buns. Sun-dried tomato buns are considered gauche with these people are judging. This is insane. They've got all this other stuff. How hot dogs are made. I don't even know if I want to know about that shit. No, I don't want to know about that shit. You can look that shit up on yourself. Is a hot dog a sandwich? Now, you know what? I'm not even gonna read their thing here. I want you to let me know if you think a hot dog is a sandwich. weirdwidepodcast@gmail.com. Shoot it to me. But like, one of the weirdest things is like, they've got this whole thing, they got all this. They're serious about hot dogs, but like, you can also you can also become a hot dog ambassador. Basically, like you become like a hot dog representative. I don't know if you get to drive the Weenie Mobile for that. That'd be pretty sweet though. Like, or at least get to ride in it somewhere. I don't know. It doesn't say anything about that, but I feel like if you become the hot dog ambassador for the year, you should be allowed to ride in the fucking Weenie Mobile. Now let's read what this has to say here. Do you have what it takes to be the hot dog ambassador? The National Hot Dog and Sausage Council is inviting American hot dog lovers, connoisseurs, and aficionados to compete for the coveted title of hot dog ambassador. This year, get out your camera, round up some Red Hots, gather up some Glizzies, find some Franks, and dig out some dogs. We want to see who from our social media followers has what it takes to be part of this illustrious group. This is people obsessed with hot dogs. Like, dude, I imagine marriages have ended over this. Like I imagine it's like one of those things where it's like somebody has like been like, it's either hot dogs or our marriage. And people are like, hot dogs. Now, what do you get if you become the ambassador? Well, you get a lifetime appointment as a hot dog ambassador. So I guess they do like, the hot dog ambassador of 2022, the hot dog ambassador, like that guy. So I imagine it's like this weird, like, kind of elite group of people. You get a brand ambassador certificate, so you get a piece of paper. That's pretty cool. You get a $100 gift card. There is an actual cash prize. You get a Wiener Warrior t-shirt, which I don't know. We're still in Pride Month. That sounds fun. That sounds on brand for that. Wiener Warrior t-shirt. Love it. Love it. And then there's additional hot dog related swag items, cups, koozies, wristbands, anything a hot dog lover would absolutely just need. So, wow. So that's a thing. So if anybody wants to, they can literally go on and they can apply to be a hot dog ambassador. So I don't want to be a hot dog ambassador, but I got to be honest, like with all this like hot dog research, and I feel like it's happening to you too. I want a fucking hot dog. Now, I would like right now, like one of those Costco ones would be perfect. Those like really fucking long ones that are only $2, a little bit of ketchup, a little bit of mustard, or maybe a little bit of onions, a little bit of pickles. I don't know. That does sound pretty good, doesn't it? Now, moving on from hot dogs to absolute terror that the world has to offer here. So there is a lot going on in Russia. I don't know if anybody's noticed that. Usually I would, in the past, I've done Apocalypse Watch episodes. This would actually probably just fall into a new segment of, an Apocalypse Watch. So here we go with that. There's a lot going on out there. So apparently there was a civil war attempt, or there was a coup attempt by one of the guys from the Wagner group. They're these fucking mercenaries. Now they basically came in. They were trying to take down like Russia, but like it got suppressed. But then there was like the weird thing here is like there was this speech after. There was like the Vladimir Putin gave, where he basically, a lot of people are saying like, because there's a lot of conspiracy theories and a lot of like, is that going on in regards to Putin and whether or not he has body doubles, he's using body doubles, or even if, even like, it even goes further than that. I mean, we're in 2023. There is clone conspiracy theories regarding Putin. Like, is he even alive? Is it all deep fake shit? Is it all just to keep like the strongman image going, like all that bullshit? Well, a lot of people had a lot of questions about it. He looked really off. He sounded off, apparently, from what he usually does. So, a lot of people are questioning that. So that's a really weird situation to deal with, as far as that goes. So, you got Putin acting a little bit funny. You got a lot of the unrest going on. Obviously, the war is still raging in Ukraine. Now, one of the things that actually is frightening, and this is, something they've recently moved nuclear weapons from Russia to Belarus, who is one of Russia's neighbors. And this goes in the Apocalypse Watch category here. There's a lot of speculation of like, it is a good thing that Ukraine is winning. Like, we'll start there. But like in a weird roundabout way, it's also not a good thing, because a lot of people are saying that like, if Putin gets backed into a corner to a point where he has no real standing army or no worthy standing army that's going to actually do anything, they get their ass kicked by Ukraine, Ukraine decides to counter invade, whatever. Then at that point, Putin is forced to use nuclear weapons. Now, one of the terrifying things, like I said, with the nukes being moved to Belarus, it's a little bit similar, not as on the finger on the red button as the Cuban Missile Crisis, but it's got a similar vibe, in my opinion. You got Belarus, who is, they're holding these nuclear cards now of Russia's. A lot of people are probably very tense. but there's a lot of like military guys that are that are around Putin and his inner circle who are basically coming out and talking about how they're starting to talk in like there's no choice. There we have to do this. Like they keep talking about a nuclear strike on Europe. Um and there's basically this idea of like they have to do this. They don't have a choice. Seems to me like there's a lot of power, a lot of warmongery kind of motherfuckers that are, over there that have no business being anywhere near the red button, but they've got their dicks firmly pressed on the red button, ready to fucking pound it out. And I don't fucking like that. So, it's one of those things where like shit is getting crazier and crazier out there. And nukes could fall at any moment. If that happens in Europe, it's most certainly going to have it's going to have a chain reaction where everybody just starts blasting. I feel like once the first bomb falls, we're all going to see the mushroom cloud. We're all going to start seeing that cloud in the sky. And then a lot of us are just going to be vaporized. I'm in a small rural area, so I probably will. It's probably going to be radiation sickness for me. But any of my listeners in New York, big cities in California, Chicago, any of that, you're gonna be fucking wasted, dude, and it's fucking terrifying. So I hope everybody's feeling good about that. Yeah, nukes could fall at any moment now. So let's take a little let's change gears here. Let's change gears here. I think we need a little bit of a distraction from the horrors of the modern day world. So let's get our entertainment on a little bit. And it's another segment that we're going to be doing here on the show now. We're going to be talking about, current entertainment stuff. I had the opportunity to go see Asteroid City. I feel like it's not getting as much buzz, as I kind of hoped. It definitely has an artsy vibe to it. I'm not going to give any spoilers. I do think everybody should check it out. But it's same guy, Wes Anderson, same guy that did, what's that, the Life Aquatic with Steve something. He did that. He did a couple other movies. Very artsy dude, very colorful. What drew me into it was it clearly had like a lot of the things that I'm interested in. Clearly touched on like this, kind of the 50s, the specifically the weird 50s, like the kind of like we're not talking about that part of the 50s, like, you know what I mean, like the nuclear testing, the alien conspiracy stuff, a lot of that like government, shadow government, a lot of that kind of stuff. It touched on a lot of that. So basically it's hard to explain this. It's got, first of all, it's a star-studded fucking cast. It's got so many people in. Steve Carell, Willem Dafoe shows up, Adrian Brody, Scarlett Johansson. It's a ridiculous amount of stars. But it's basically set up kind of like as if it's a play. Like the movie is set up like a play within the movie. Like the movie is a play we're seeing, but like it's set up as if it was. I feel like that was probably, I don't know how Wes Anderson like explained that, but like that was probably a weird thing during the pitch meetings. Anyway, but basically like these nerdy kids and their families show up to this small town called Asteroid City, named after this little asteroid, this little teeny asteroid that showed up, and they're all like super young, like nerds and like super geniuses. They're out here inventing, like one's got a death ray that he made, one's got like this thing where you can just plop an image on the moon. It's pretty fucking crazy. It's awesome. One's got a jetpack. But they basically like they have this whole event, like the Junior Stargazers, and it's super fun. And then there's a whole bunch of other like stories intertwined with the whole thing. But basically, like the whole thing kind of scooches up a notch, like when they're doing their little event, like looking at the through the sky, and all of a sudden a fucking UFO shows up and comes and takes this alien comes and takes the asteroid. The alien is played by Jeff Goldblum, by the way. And it's like this whole really weird, like what they're all just like, what am I watching? What am I seeing here? Yeah. But like I said, I'm not going to give any spoilers, but I definitely did enjoy it. I think everybody, it's definitely worth a watch. Definitely worth a trip to the theater for. I highly recommend it. So go see it. And let me know what you think. Weirdwidepodcast@gmail.com. And there's been distractions from the horrors of the modern world. All right, one more quick thing before we get out of here. Just in the irony of all ironies, I found a hilarious story here. There is a Harvard professor. Now, this Harvard professor, her name is Francesca Gino. Now, Professor Gino, she studies honesty and ethics, like honesty and ethical behavior at Harvard. She teaches it, studies it. So this is a person that like their entire life is dedicated to the study of honesty and unethical behavior. Well, she has been caught falsifying data submitted to science journals. So, in the like I said, the irony of all ironies, at least 4 papers data had been tampered with. She hasn't come out and said innocent or guilty. She's basically been kept kind of quiet about it, but it goes back a couple years, and obviously they're making a thing of it. But just what are the odds, of a teacher who studies honesty being dishonest? Well, thanks for getting weird with me. I hope everybody enjoys the new direction I'm taking the show in. Like I said, we're still gonna have deep dives, so join me for those. I'll have those when I have those. It's way, like I said, up top, it'll give me a lot more opportunity to, flesh those out the way I want more without having to, worry about dropping content. So I'm excited with the new direction that I'm taking the show. If you like what you're hearing, go on to Apple, give us a 5-star review. It really helps the show, helps visibility. If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Follow the page. And like I said, go on to the official home of Weirdwide on the interwebs, www.weirdwide.com. Like I said up top, again, you can subscribe to the newsletter, get episodes sent directly to you. You can see every episode that has been released. And there's going to be more fun stuff coming to that. Probably later than sooner, I'll be honest, but keep an eye on it. You might like it. You can also find me on Instagram and TikTok as Dudus Weirdo. Hit me up. DMs are open if you want to say hi. I love you all, and I will see you next week with more weird nonsense. And until then, keep it weird.